Why was Princess Catherine absent from the Royal Ascot race meeting? I've got the inside story. The real reason Harry has changed his mind about putting Archie and Lily in the spotlight. So much for their privacy, folks. Meanwhile, the Duke may well be returning to the deadly war zone of Ukraine, even though he avoids Britain due to safety concerns. But first, the Mark Dolan show can exclusively reveal that the bitter war of attrition between Prince Harry and Prince William is getting worse by the day, and a big move is coming, with the Prince of Wales thought to have now completely disowned his younger brother, with the man next in line to the throne considering his relationship with his only sibling to be beyond repair. The devastating line that a royal insider has told this programme is that, and I quote, "They are no longer brothers." You heard me right. They are no longer brothers, which is why it's unsurprising that palace insiders have told Tom Sykes at the excellent Daily Beast news website that William fully intends to strip the Sussexes of their HRH titles when he becomes king, with the prince reportedly furious that Harry and Meghan have used HRH, his and her Royal Highness, in documents and correspondence, having promised the late Queen Elizabeth II that they would not. And it seems that it's not just Harry and Meghan who will lose HRH when William becomes king, but Archie and Lily too. Of course, HRH is a title granted only to active serving royals. But as this show reported last week, Prince Harry has been fighting hard behind the scenes for Archie and Lily to retain their HRH status, leaving the door open for them becoming frontline serving royals when they're older. Now, the Guardian newspaper, of all papers, revealed that Harry has been embarked on an almighty battle to keep the titles HRH and Sussex on Archie and Lily's passport documents, highlighting the wild double standards of a prince who apparently had such a terrible time as a serving royal, but is now seeking to facilitate exactly the same life for Archie and Lily. Make it make sense. Because, of course, here's the answer. Harry suffers from the terrible illness of cakeism. Have you heard about cakeism? There is no cure for cakeism. Cakeism is the pathological desire to have your cake and then eat it. In other words, you want to have your cake. There it is. There is my cake. And I want to eat it. You see, you cannot have your cake and then eat it because then it's gone. So you don't have your cake anymore. Is that difficult to understand, Prince Harry? Have your cake and eat it. It's either or. And the rest of us, normal mortals, have to make these tough choices, but not apparently the Duke and Duchess of double standards. Well, let me tell you that Harry may be suffering from severe cakeism, terminal cakeism, to which there is no cure. But Prince William has told Harry to shove it in his cake hole. That's right. The HRH titles will be removed. Now, we know that the trajectory of Harry and William's relationship went south in 2020. 2020 is when Megxit happened. That's when Harry and Meghan left the United Kingdom, gave up their royal duties. Already at that point, William said, "I'm out. I'm out." 2020, that was the moment William said, "I'm out," because he knew that Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip and his father at the time, Prince of Wales, Prince Charles, rolled out the red carpet for Harry and Meghan, bent over backwards, broke royal precedent for Meghan and Harry that they didn't break for Catherine and William, who are going to be king and queen. But the precedent, the protocol was maintained. The stifling, strict protocol was maintained for William and Catherine. But the rules were loosened for Harry and Meghan because they wanted to make the couple feel happy and comfortable. Because, of course, Meghan was from overseas. They were very kind. They were very generous. But they were also naive and far too nice. So, obviously, William saw this play out. He saw the spiteful nature of their departure from this country, initially to Canada and then into the United States. So, the relationship began to unravel in 2020. And Megxit was already seen as a betrayal by William. So, he's already hurting at that point. And rather than maintaining a low profile on departure, because of course that was the idea of Harry and Meghan's departure, is that they would give up their frontline royal duties. They'd live perhaps in a farm in Wyoming or something. Wyoming! What a town. Well, I don't know too much about Wyoming. I'll be finding out so much about America because the Mark Dolan show is heading there for 3 weeks. Daily videos live from the United States, including a trip to, wait for it, Montecito. That's right, the Mark Dolan show and my crew, including cameraman John, who is relentless. He'll pap anyone. He will pap, not as much as Meghan. Don't forget, Meghan paps her own kids. Meghan Markle paps her own kids. Do you know what I mean by pap? Paparazzi, right? Those terrible gorilla-like photographers on motorbikes and standing in the street in, day and night, door-stopping celebrities, taking pictures of them, going shopping, buying coffee, all the rest of it. Meghan is the only celebrity in the world, I use the term celebrity loosely, who paps her own kids. And I say that because she takes pictures of them and then she puts those pictures on the internet for money. That is what a paparazzi does. That is the income stream of a paparazzi, is to take a photograph of somebody that's famous and then put that photograph on the internet, on Tinternet. That is how they make money. And if you get a really good picture of someone, let's imagine Julia Roberts, what a beautiful lady she is. And imagine if Julia Roberts had plastic surgery. She doesn't need to. She's already perfect, just like Mrs. Dolan. But Julia Roberts, lovely artist, great lady. If she went and had plastic surgery, the paparazzi, right, the freelance photographers would be outside that clinic with a telephoto lens. They want to catch the first glimpse of Julia Roberts with bandages on her nose or wherever it is she's had her plastic surgery. And but I just want to put it out there because my commitment to you is 100%. We're growing a media revolution here. I've got to always look good for you. That is my obligation. And when I get older, because we'll be here for many, many years and decades is the plan. I'd like to host the #1 talk show in the world. That is the project. We will achieve it. Watch this space. Clip it. Bookmark that statement. But I've always got to look good for you. So when I get a little older and the years are unkind to me, I'm quite happy to go under the knife for full plastic surgery to remain presentable to you. I don't mind. I'll do anything to sound right, look right, drop tooth bombs, to drop the truth bombs. I'll tell you what I also have to do. I don't need plastic surgery at the moment. We need a little bit of air conditioning here in the United Kingdom where there is a heat wave. Anyhow, look, there's a heat wave in the palace because Harry and William, it's not even a war. I don't think you can call it a war now. I take that back because a war requires two participants. Harry has upset his brother, demonized his brother in the book Spare, of course, demonized the family in the Oprah interview. And William's response has been, I'm out. I'm out. That is what William has said. And he doesn't take any prisoners. So Megxit was a betrayal. And the couple, what any normal couple would do, Harry and Meghan, is go and live in a farm in Wyoming. Wyoming. And that would have been the right thing to do. And we would all, they could raise cattle. And Meghan could have her perfect vegetable produce, which is incredibly clean when it comes out of the soil and it's in season, all on the same day. She could do her gardening. They could have, they wouldn't just have to do beekeeping. They could literally have, they could have like an actual industrial amount of honey coming out of their Wyoming compound, couldn't they? And flower sprinkles. Meghan Markle, if they lived on a farm in Wyoming, she could become a flower sprinkles magnate. She could be the face of flower sprinkles globally. Do you know about the flower sprinkles? These featured on her TV show With Love, Meghan. And she sprinkled these flowers, these dried flowers on all of the food, which is ridiculous because it's my professional verdict and I'm not a stupid person and I do my research. It's my view that those flower sprinkles are hallucinogenic, toxic, and we're not supposed to eat flowers. But they didn't do that. They didn't go and buy a farm in Wyoming and with Harry fishing all day and drinking the king of beers, which is Budweiser, in the evening as Meghan kind of prepares his evening meal of grits and other classic American fare. I think Harry would love the grits. I don't know if the Wendy burger, do they do grits? It's a classic US dish. I will try to eat some grits when I'm in the United States. Pure goodness, like all American food. Don't forget, I'll be hiring a car. And do you know what my criterion is for the hire car? I'll be hiring American. I'll be hiring American. So when I get there to the airport with my passport and my credit card, if they dangle a set of keys in front of me which say Toyota, all bets are off. Thanks, but no thanks. So they didn't do that. They didn't get a farm. They didn't disappear from public view. And if they had, we would absolutely respect that. There is nobody in the public eye that wouldn't respect Harry and Meghan having a quiet private life. They're human beings. They can do what they like. It's a free country. It's a free world. But they didn't take that path. They took a different path of fame, of greed, of money, of bitter retribution. And the really big casualty is William, who's done. He's out. He's done. It's over. Finito. The end. Dankeschön. Wir sind fast fertig. Der Bauch ist voll. J'ai pas faim maintenant. Je suis complète. Adieu. À tout à l'heure. À tout à l'heure. Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. So look, that's the bottom line. So he's furious. And so we know, I mean, there have been so many elements to the Oprah interview. Do you remember William had to actually defend his family to the world's press? He was out and about after the Oprah interview, a couple of days after the terrible Oprah interview, in which they accused the royal family of being R-A-C-I-S-T. I spelled the letters of that word because it's such a terrible word. It's the most evil crime in humanity is R-A-C-I-S-M. It's such a disgusting thing. I don't want to say the word, especially not given that those words come from Harry and Meghan. Poor William. I think he was on his way to a church service because he's a man of deep faith. And William was asked, by a press photographer or a journalist, are the royal family R-A-C-I-S-T? By the way, it's unhelpful when I spell out because then it makes me want to go D-I-V-O-R-C-E, which I think is a Dolly Parton song. And what a tune. I love Dolly Parton. Another celebrity that has rejected the advances of Meghan Markle to be on her terrible TV show with Love Meghan. So the photographer or journalist said to William after the Oprah interview, is the royal family R-A-C-I-S-T? And shall I sing it? R-A-C-I-S-T. It's coming today. What a tune. I mean, that people forget that Dolly Parton isn't just an incredible singer. She's a ridiculous songwriter. 9 to 5, I Will Always Love You, D-O-V-I-R-C-E, many relentless other hits. Her latest rock album is very good. We don't have time for this, folks. I cannot tell you. There's so much material for today's show. We don't have time to talk about Dolly Parton, even though I'd love to. We'll do a Dolly special at some point. But this is the difficulty I do have with you, is you do interrupt me. You interrupt my flow. I'm trying to drop you these royal tooth bombs. And then you ask me questions about Dolly Parton for which there is no time. It's not often that I'll have to admonish you, but these interruptions are unhelpful. I hope that's been loudly received as a message. So you had this journalist says, is the royal family R-A-C-I-S-T? And lovely William, who's got such dignity, said, no, our family, and he used unusual wording, didn't he? He said, our family is very much not R-A-C-I-S-T. We are very much not a R-A-C-I-S-T family. Very much not a ... family. Which was, in a sense, cumbersome wording, but it was right. The reason why it was cumbersome is because it hadn't been scripted. It hadn't been signed off by an army of public relations experts, which is what happens out of Montecito. Harry and Meghan, every utterance has been drafted 11 times by a whole bunch of PR people because nothing from Harry and Meghan is real. Do you remember the near fatal collision in New York? Because apparently, wait for it, apparently Harry and Meghan were caught in a high-speed car chase in central Manhattan. Have you ever been to central Manhattan? No car has ever gone faster than 3 miles per hour because it is the world's most trafficky location on the planet of traffic is central Manhattan in New York City is permanent gridlock But apparently Harry and Meghan had a high-speed car chase, I'm assuming in kind of floating space cars, like something out of... What was that movie where they're all flying around in the air? Blade Runner. We got there in the end, folks. Someone refill my decaf. I'll tell you something. We have got so much to get through. So let's just deal with this. Right. The bitterness between the brothers is very, very clear. Yeah, so young William said, we are very much not a RACIST family. And it was clunky because it came from the heart, right? He just responded with his incredible brain, his common sense, and his big heart. William's got such a big heart. I can't wait to tell you in future shows all of the amazing projects he's up to make Britain and the world a better place. Meanwhile, Harry flies to China, flogging his environmentally friendly travel company. Harry, I've got news for you. I've got a lot of truth bombs for you today. There's no such thing as environmentally friendly travel. All travel is environmentally unfriendly. Because if you're on an airplane, or in a car, or in a choo-choo train, if you're on a choo-choo train, then let me tell you that that's environmentally unfriendly. What a charlatan he is. Isn't he an outrageous charlatan? Harry's such a fake. He's such a fake. Weirdly, I mean, here's a question for you. I think we should do a whole show about this. Who's worse, Harry or Meghan? Let me know in the comment, who's worse? Whose fault is this? Seriously, whose fault is all of this? Is it Harry the H-bomb, my husband? Or is it Meghan herself? Who's worse now? Who are you more triggered by? Who's worse, Harry or Meghan? If one of them, let's say you're in the courtroom and you're going to send one of them down, and it's Harry or Meghan. Harry's in the dock, Meghan's in the dock. Who do you send down? Who goes into the slammer for 6 months of hard labour? Is it Harry or Meghan? Who do you, in the court of public opinion, who experiences the conviction and the long jail sentence? Is it Harry or is it Meghan? Let me know in the comments. I'd be really interested to hear what you think. I'm quite torn. I'm going to actually prejudge it. I'm going to say Harry's worse. Because I'll tell you for why. There are Meghans everywhere. But we work with Meghans, don't we? You've got Meghans in the office. You've got Meghans in your social life. You've got Meghans in your family. Every family's got a Meghan. There's a Meghan in every family. Every family's got one, a Meghan. There's a Meghan in every family. Every family's got one, a Meghan. A Meghan in every family. There's always a Meghan, isn't there? In every family, there's a Meghan. Every family's got one. They got a Meghan. Every family, Meghan. Meghan family got one. Every. Seriously, every family. And so actually, don't you think life is about avoiding the many Meghan Markles in the world? I can be walking down the street, I can spot a Meghan Markle a mile off. A Meghan Markle a mile off, just walking down the street. It can be a man. There are male Meghans and female Meghans walking down the street, very self-important. Look how important I am. Oh yes, I'm a bit narcissistic and I'm very cool and I'm dishonest and I'm a complete two-dimensional avatar of a human being. A manifestation of ChatGPT software gone horribly wrong. I've had bosses like Meghan, duplicitous and dishonest. So the bottom line is that actually I blame Harry, because I think that Harry is the one who should have known better. This is a grown man who allowed this woman to turn him against his own family, against the country, against his royal duties. And he should have stood up to her and he should have pushed back, and he did not. So I honestly think life is about avoiding the Meghan Markles of this world. And I think you and I would have thought most of us are successful at doing that because we can spot a controlling narcissist a mile away. And they are there. You'll never make them not there. It's part of life. And sometimes it's your sister-in-law, and sometimes it's your boss, or it's the person sat next to you at work, or it can be a passenger on the train as you travel into work. But these people are everywhere, and our job is to avoid them. And Harry did not, and he allowed her to do so much damage to the family. It happened on his watch. So, and he's the one that because, William will have been offered Meghan types for marriage. Because let's not forget that in the dark days before Catherine, William played the field. He had some girlfriends, lovely girls. Some of those girls will have been Meghan types. They will have. And what he did is avoided them, and he held out, and he got Catherine, and the rest is history. So I blame Harry, but let me know in the comments what you think. So Harry wants Lily and Archie. Here is the big banana. Here's what's going to happen when William is king. So Harry wants Lily and Archie to stay HRH. It's not going to happen. A source told Tom Sykes at the Daily Beast, which is a great website. William obviously isn't going to hire Archie and Lilibet. Well, by the way, we never say Lilibet, Lily, because Lilibet is a stolen name. Let me repeat the quote. William obviously isn't going to hire Archie and Lily. This is just trolling on the part of Harry and Meghan. So this is the idea that William wanted to keep HRH for his children is his way of mocking and trolling his own brother and to trying to engineer a role for Archie and Lily in the court of King William. And it ain't going to happen because William is pulling the plug on HRH. That is the story. William's going to do it when he's king. William reportedly has no interest in involving Archie or Lily in the royal family's future. And that gives him the license to remove HRH because you only are HRH if you're a serving royal. So while King Charles has resisted calls to strip the offspring of the HRH titles, William harbours, and I quote, no such qualms about removing them entirely when he becomes king. The Daily Beast has spoken to an insider, and they said they've asked the Sussexes politely to stop using the style, HRH, to no avail, which is why William is now going to take HRH away. Charles is too nice. He'll never do it because he's got a big heart as well. But the difference between Charles and William is William has a little steel in him. I'm not saying that King Charles is not a strong man. He's a strong, intelligent, dignified guy. But there's a glint, a shimmer of steel in William, which I think makes him very attractive. No wonder Catherine fell in love with him. But there is a shimmer of steel in there. And I think, tell me your theories in the comments. I think it's because, I think he's a strong character. I think he's very, very well raised. And I think he lost his mother at a young age and had to become a grown-up overnight and was an effective, elder guardian to Harry. And he had to shape up and he had to become an adult, which is a terrible thing for a teenager. And it's obviously a trauma, a shocking trauma to lose your mother under those circumstances. So he's got some steel, and that's the difference between him and Charles. And that's why he is going to be ruthless. And he's going to take those HRH titles away because he will not have Lily and Archie running around Buckingham Palace with crowns on and jewels and goodness knows what else, knighting people and just going beyond their station. Because unfortunately, I don't wish to, in any way prejudge Lily and Archie, but I'm sure they're fabulous kids and I wish them obviously all the best, but they are the children of Harry and Meghan, aren't they? So they're going to grow up with that influence, which I fear will give me many years of material to come. And I think they may well turn out to be quite dreadful if their parents are anything to go by. And because, your kids are a reflection of you. I've got two sons. For their privacy, I call them Elton and Bernie, and they've turned out very well. The eldest has a lisp and is mentally slow, but he's still a good human being, and I'm proud of him. And I like the other one too. So, the kids, they are a reflection, aren't they? So HRH, and we know that Diana lost it, Prince Andrew lost it, Sarah Ferguson lost it. William is said to be planning a wider tidying up exercise as king. Well, that's such a great idea. A tidy up sounds good. Start with the Sussexes, William. Sweep them out. Sweep them out. Because at the moment, I don't like the possibility of the Lily and Archie remaining HRH and also young Meghan and Harry keeping HRH because there's always the threat that they'll use them. And to me, as I said in the previous video, that means it's like a divorce which is incomplete. I want a full fat divorce, okay? We split it down the middle and we go our separate ways. And I know the person that's going to seal the deal on that is William. We'll have to wait until he becomes king. Just a quick one before I get onto some other massive news, including what's going on with Princess Catherine and also Harry going back to a war zone. You couldn't make it up. But first, I've got to tell you this, just to confirm from the previous video, We've done a lot of research, a deep dive into this, because if there was an Act of Parliament, then Harry and Meghan could be stripped of Duke and Duchess of Sussex, which is what the excellent Tim Loughton, former MP for Sussex, Member of Parliament for Sussex, has decreed. And I wish he got his way. If Harry and Meghan lose the Duke and Duchess of Sussex titles, it's so simple. It's just a law through Parliament. Then Meghan becomes, wait for it, Princess Henry. Now, yesterday, I accidentally said Princess Henry of Wales, but of course that's what she would have been when King Charles was still Prince of Wales. Now she simply becomes Princess Henry, Henry being Harry's original name. By the way, I think they should have stuck with Henry. Harry's fine, but it's a bit silly. It's a silly name. It's a juvenile name, and it's a name that's produced a very juvenile man, who is, as we know, the world's least happy millionaire. Hum-ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-dum. Poor Prince Harry. I should have stuck with Prince Henry. Henry sounds like a grown-up person. Hum-ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-dum. So his original first name is Henry. And that means, because that is his official first name, christened Prince Henry, then Meghan becomes Princess Henry. She's Princess Henry. So that's why we've got to get rid of the Sussex title, because she'll be so irritated being called Princess Henry, because that's a reminder of her husband's name. So she would basically be always paying respect to her husband. Anytime she dropped her royal title, she's basically got to thank Prince Harry for that. She's got to say his name every time she says hers, Princess Henry. He sort of owns her again. It would be an incredible thing in the power struggle, because Harry's losing the power struggle. He's a husk of his former self. He's a complete, I mean, there's an expression, pussy whipped. Have you heard about this? I do. I think that's a applicable and maybe appropriate term. Pussy whipped. The whipping boy. I won't be your whipping boy. Whip me like a little toy. Hunt me till my feet are sore. But I won't be your whipping boy. Ooh. There's a bridge that we won't, let's not do the bridge. So, because I've still got a lot to get through. Crazy. We're under pressure here, folks. So, I'm so happy about Princess Henry. And even if she didn't use it, I would call her Princess Henry. I might start calling her Princess Henry anyway, just to annoy Meghan Markle. Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. Anyway, it would be a great thing. And we've got to do it. How do we do a campaign to turn her into Princess H, Princess my husband, Princess Henry. My name is Princess Henry H-Bomb Harry, Princess Henry. There you go. Folks, listen, let's get into some other big news. Just beforehand, by the way, a bit of admin. I keep changing my glasses because I went to get my glasses repaired. I've got my grey glasses. And I went to get them repaired. Not repaired, what am I talking about? I just adjusted. I got my glasses, my spectacles adjusted, my eyeglasses, to get them adjusted, because they were getting a little loose. And I took them to the opticians, and or der Optiker, as they say in Germany. Guten Tag, wie geht's denn? Wie geht's Ihnen? And with these, die Brille waren kaputt geworden. Basically, my glasses, they broke my glasses. I took my glasses in to be adjusted, just a little, tighten them up a little bit. They broke my glasses. So now I'm getting through a medley of my back catalogue of other spectacles, which I hope you're enjoying. We'll bring back the grey ones soon. But there you go. No, folks, couple of things. So we'll wrap this up and go Speedy Gonzales, because I've got to get you this information. Harry has revealed why he's now allowing photos of Archie and Lily to go on the internet, because we know that he's been quite serious about the kids' privacy, which, by the way, is sincere, okay? When Harry talks about privacy, he does actually mean it. Seriously, Harry means it, because he hates the paparazzi, even though he's married to someone that paps her own kids. He doesn't like the paparazzi because he thinks they took the life of his mother, which in a sense they did, I think. So he's very bitter towards the press. He doesn't enjoy having his photograph taken, and he does not want his kids splashed all over the internet. So he actually means it. But of course, the reason why the photos have been going online is because Meghan is hell-bent on global fame, and she's using Archie and Lily as leverage to make money and to grow her digital footprint. It's all cynical. It's dollar signs. That's all it is. And Harry goes along with it because he is no longer in the driving seat of that marriage. He's just her manservant. He's the help. He's the bag carrier. He's the man that removes the leaves from the koi pond. That's it. That is it. That's all he's got. So that is the truth behind why Archie and Lily are all over the internet now. It's because Meghan wants it. What Meghan wants, Meghan gets. That's the most true thing Harry has ever said just before their wedding. And but the line being peddled out of Montecito is that Harry is completely heartbroken over King Charles's refusal to see him or the children. The quote, clearly coming from the Sussex PR machine, is that as follows: Harry is completely heartbroken. His dad refuses to see him or the kids, not even on Zoom. It's a last resort. He's desperately hoping the king might see a picture of Archie or Lily and, I quote, realise what he's missing. Do they think we're stupid? Do the PR people working for Harry and Meghan think we're that stupid that we'll read a quote like that and believe it? That King Charles is going to be on his smartphone. I doubt King Charles has a smartphone. I'm sure King Charles just receives everything on parchment with like a wax seal. This is King Charles we're talking about here. The son of the Queen Elizabeth. The Queen Elizabeth. The son of the Queen of Elizabeth. And he's not sitting there scrolling TikTok and Instagram and hanging on X and all the rest of it. King Charles has got better things to do. He's leading the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth. So, and the family. So the idea, how puerile, how pathetic do they think we are that we're going to read a quote like that and think, yeah, Harry's heartbroken and is publicising, he's allowing pictures of Archie and Lily to go on the internet, completely disrupting their privacy and making them celebrities without them, by the way, giving consent. Because you see, children don't consent to fame. You can't consent until you're, 18? 18 is when you consent to stuff. So if your parents put pictures of you on the internet when you're 4 or 6 in their case, then they're not consenting. And I feel, therefore, a crime has been committed against them. You will find no pictures of my offspring on the internet. It's lucky because facially it's not a good thing, especially the eldest. You know, but a good good person. He's a thorough human being with soul. You can say that. But that is it, folks. So the idea that Harry is trying to sort of make King Charles see, come and have a look at what you're missing. It is lies upon lies upon lies. I'm not having it. I refuse to believe it. It's a shock. Couple of bits and pieces before we go. First of all, Ukraine is now bidding to host the 2029 Invictus Games. Ukraine. Kyiv is among 6 cities bidding to host the Games, despite complex ongoing geopolitical challenges. Is that an understatement? Complex ongoing geopolitical challenges? Yes. What's happened is that Russia's invaded Ukraine. So that's definitely a complex ongoing geopolitical challenge. Thank you very much for confirming that. And the bottom line is that Harry will want this. Because he's a big virtue signaler, he'll want Ukraine to be in the Invictus Games to happen in Ukraine. And he'll go and he'll be there, dodging gunfire, leaping over landmines, leaping over landlines, phones ringing in the street. What's going on? Leaping over landmines, dodging bullets, ducking his head as a grenade heads towards him. Because Harry, of course, is so concerned about his safety, but he's absolutely, without any question, going to support the Ukraine bid to host the Invictus Games. And he can stand there in his flak jacket, maybe arrive by military helicopter, take out a couple of Taliban as he lands on the landing strip, being this heroic war hero that he is. But I find it very ironic that no doubt Harry will support this bid for Ukraine to host Invictus, because he's a guy that loves danger, okay? He's been to Colombia recently, Mexico, Nigeria, South Africa, China. What's next? North Korea? Maybe a trip to the Kremlin for tea with Vladimir Putin? So he'll go to any dangerous place in the world and will quite happily see Ukraine host the Invictus Games, which, by the way, will surely produce more injured veterans, won't it? Do you not think there'll be more injuries if they host the games in Ukraine, which is at war? The only place he's not safe, apparently, is Britain, where he needs armed security. It's the only not safe country in the world. China's fine, South Africa, Mexico, Nigeria, Colombia, the Ukraine. Make it make sense. Before we go, great news about lovely, fabulous Princess Catherine. It's 100% been confirmed that a big mistake was made when her absence from Royal Ascot, the race meeting, was announced just moments before she was due to attend. People were shocked. We talked about it on this show yesterday. And my view was that Catherine is recovering from cancer. She's rebuilding her life. She's a mother of 3 children. She's a wife. She's the future monarch of this country, the future queen. And therefore, she needs to take care of herself and get better at her own pace. Plus, I'd like to add, she must be exhausted because she's attended so many things this year. She was at the Royal Marsden Hospital in January, confirming her cancer diagnosis. She supported the Tai Hafan Children's Hospice in Wales. She did an announcement about health and nature, mental health and nature in spring 2025, part of her Shaping Us Early Years initiative. She was at the Victoria and Albert Museum, celebrating our fantastic history of creativity, Trooping the Colour, where she was the most beautiful woman on the planet that day. She was participating in the Order of the Garter service at St. George's Chapel at Windsor. The woman hasn't stopped. She hasn't stopped. She was at the Buckingham Palace garden party. It's been relentless. HMS Glasgow, she christened it with a bottle of whiskey. So she's entitled to have a break. And it's very hot in the UK, as you can see from my rather shiny face. But let me give you the inside story before we go. I had a lot of other stories for you, which I'm going to have to postpone for the next video because there isn't time because of your relentless interruptions and questions. So let me quickly give you the story of what actually happened. It was a breakdown in communication. So what happened is as follows. Kate's sudden absence surprised many people, given the fact that her name had already been printed in the Day 2 programme and shared by the Royal Ascot social media accounts. However, the palace quickly clarified that Catherine's non-attendance at the event was the result of a miscommunication. The confusion began when the Royal Ascot X and Instagram accounts seemingly confirmed Princess Catherine will be alongside Charles, Queen Camilla and William. However, just moments later, Kensington Palace issued a statement saying Catherine would not be coming. Now, at the time, the palace suggested that the princess's attendance had actually not been confirmed with Royal Ascot, and her name being printed in the official programme and being announced by racing chiefs at the festival to appear in the royal procession was due to a communications error. So the princess was announced. By the way, are you keeping up with this? I might need some more decaf just to understand this. Essentially, what happened? Do you want it in plain English? The palace told Royal Ascot she wasn't coming and they didn't get the memo. Okay, that's what happened. A spokesperson said, "We notified Ascot that Her Royal Highness would not be attending. Unfortunately, an inaccurate version of the carriage list was issued in error. After that notification, the correct list was then circulated." So we have our answer. The palace did what they're supposed to do because they are brilliant professionals and they are discreet and they are respectful and they're 100% accurate. And then you have a couple of characters at Royal Ascot on the social media account probably drinking champagne at lunchtime, which is always a mistake. And the rest is history. Folks, so many more stories brewing. And who knows, my neighbour's cat Reg may return for the next show. I do hope so. I'm always on the lookout for my feline friend. If you get a chance, please subscribe to this channel. Please hit the notification alarm reminder bell because then you'll be alerted when a video drops. And the other thing I'd love to say is, could you like the video if you've enjoyed it? It really helps the channel to get the videos out there to more people. We're building a global media revolution. Couldn't do it without you. You're not part of the show. You are the show. The Mark Dolan Show coming to the United States at the end of June. This is not a drill. See you for the next video. Stay awesome. Big love. Bye for now.